let's go on an adventure. Bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on it together. I did it, did, let's go on an adventure. Bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on it forever. If you're feeling blue, nothing left to do, my love. And if you're feeling bored, I know you know the cure. You know the cure. Let's go on an adventure. Bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on it forever. I did it, let's go on an adventure. Bop, bop, shoot, bop, 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 yeah. Let's go on it together. I did it, let's go on an adventure.
Hello, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Musical Chairs in Massachusetts, coming at you from the Chair City of Gardner, Mass. Here we feature local musicians of all genres from all over New England. And I have, of course, my buddy old pal, chum of mine, Topher over here. Is somebody torturing you? Like, why are you biting down on a stick?
It's I'm getting into my creative juices. The
ink exploding on your face?
I probably got marked. Yeah, no, I feel like I should just write a song.
You should just write a song.
Yeah. Old MacDonald had a farm and Bingo was his name. Oh, G.I. Joe, G.I. Okay. And he should no longer write a song.
Clearly, we've been out of the studio for a couple of weeks now, and it is showing. You seem a bit stir crazy here.
Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited. I am excited to be back in the studio.
Mm-hmm. You are very excited, clearly.
Ding! There's the brain. It just updated. No, I am excited. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing this routine again and
back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle again.
And yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. So how was your time off?
My time off was pretty great, actually. I saw some friends of the show. I went and I saw Over the Bridge, which, we had on a few episodes back, and I got to meet the rest of the members of the band that weren't here from when they
That's great.
Yeah. So like one of the guys from Utah that they mentioned had come out, and he's actually an amazing fiddle player.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they were absolutely phenomenal, as always, live. They played with Badfish, which hopefully we can get on the show at some point too. But
I love me some Badfish.
Yeah. Your stomach probably doesn't.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, but I love their music.
Yeah, so it was really cool to go out and see them on stage and cheer them on. But before, I went out there, I got to hang out with you and give you your Christmas gift. And
I know, that was fun.
Yeah, and I got to look through some old records of your mom's, which was awesome. I geek out so hard with stuff like that. But it was funny. I probably saw 15 records of this guy that I've never heard of before, and I don't mean to offend anybody out there, but
Julio Iglesias.
Yes, Julio Iglesias. I probably saw 15 of these albums sitting in this bin. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then, funny story, I was watching reruns of The Golden Girls because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
And Betty White randomly brings up something to do with her Julio Iglesias, and I was like, son of a bitch. This is a full circle moment right here. Now I really need to know who this is. So I think you need to bring them into the studio, and we should listen to something and see what the hype's about.
I mean, is he alive?
I don't know.
Is he like 170? You know, I just assume that because it's my mom. Like she really got into.
She had some great albums.
Oh yeah, she did. Oh my god. Okay, so Julio, you are still alive, so that's good. 81 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So he was born in 1943
In Madrid, Spain.
in Madrid.
Madrid.
Madrid. Yeah. So mom had some good taste.
Yeah.
I loved. She had Carole King that I kept. Some Billy Joel.
You were playing ABBA when I walked into your house.
I was dancing like a queen. And then John Denver. I said that already. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I copped one of the Whitney Houston albums.
Yeah.
And Madonna.
I got Eye of the Tiger there. The surprising one was Motley Crue.
Yeah.
I was like, what? but she had she has some great musical like she loved Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I saw that Bad album in there.
Yeah, it's in bad shape.
It's vintage.
It's vintage.
Yes.
And I also have it on cassette too, which is fun. But yeah, no, it was really nice to kind of go through her collection, and as I was looking at these records and tapes, I was remembering growing up as a kid, especially on the weekends when I wasn't in school, listening to her play the music on her on the I forget what brand it was, if it was Optimus or whatever. It was like a Radio Shack triple stacked, record player, cassette player with the equalizer with the big giant 2 speakers, radio, and she'd be doing chores just listening to the music. So that's
nostalgia for you.
Yeah, and like I said, music's been ingrained in my life. Very early on, my dad played a lot of classic rock, and my mom, on the other hand, played a lot of Carpenters and Beatles and just the softer stuff. Police, she loved the Police. Yeah. So Peter Gabriel, that was another great.
Ooh.
Yeah, I loved, and I to this day still love Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
Peter, if you're watching, please come on the show. Anyways, so yeah, it was nice. That was great. It was fun.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me look through those records. That was really awesome.
Oh yeah, happy to.
Yeah.
That was my Christmas gift to you.
I know. I loved it.
Yeah. So guys,
Excuse you. Hairball.
Don't mind me. Actually, what it is I had some Czech mix, and I still have pretzels stuck. I don't. Why do they throw pretzels into? Have you ever noticed?
Everybody picks out the pretzels.
Oh God, they're horrible.
Yeah.
But I eat them because it's
there.
There. I mean, whatever. Anyways. Yeah. So, guys, we have a terrific show for you today, and this gentleman was somebody that was not on our radar until a certain someone went to a songwriter contest.
Yeah, until somebody judged a songwriter contest.
Sorry.
Rude.
It's the second pretzel.
Rude.
Sorry.
Yeah, I happened to be judging the second annual songwriters contest at the Otter River Pub. Shout out to Matt Black and Franco O'Malley for always, putting on such a great production over there. And yeah, I happened to judge his round, and he ended up advancing on, and his song was absolutely beautiful. And I approached him afterwards and said, "Hey, I'd love to have you on our show." And yeah, I'm glad that he agreed to come on.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed this, learning about this guest, and especially his, song crafting abilities, and the sound, man. Like, it's telling you, like, you can go across country listening to this guy.
Oh yeah, just press play on his album when his album comes out, and just let it play through, and it's just there's something about his demeanor and his voice and his playing. It's very soothing and calming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where I could just put that on and let it play, and yeah, I don't think there would be a bad song on the album.
Soothing and calming. the absolute opposite of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little yin and yang going on in studio today.
We did. I was like, "Hi," and he's like, "Do I approach it?"
Yeah, Chris is over there being weird, and he's just like, "Hey guys,
well, I'm an oddball, but no, guys, make sure you stick around. This is a great show coming up that we just are just really happy to be present for. So, with that being said, Nikki, why don't you introduce our next guest?
Today in studio, we are joined by Ryan Calkins, a folk and Americana songwriter hailing from central Massachusetts. Ryan writes music that's often been described as vulnerable, thoughtful, sentimental, and pensive, though he is not one to shy away from a lighthearted tune now and then. For Ryan, songwriting is about staying open to the feelings behind each piece, letting the song take shape and listening closely to what it wants to become. He's inspired by a long line of songwriters like Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Amos Lee, Tyler Childers, and a special nod to James Taylor and Laurie McKenna, because you have to represent Massachusetts. Music's always been around him. Growing up, family gatherings often turned into impromptu jam sessions. But he didn't really start writing songs until his early 30s. Now he is diving headfirst into the scene, playing local gigs, songwriter rounds, and working towards getting an EP recorded. Outside of music, Ryan is all about traveling, finding new experiences, and sharing good food with great people. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Woo! Yay!
Yay! I did
it. I'm very proud of you.
Third time.
That's right.
Third time's the charm, right?
It's the cleansing note. You're going to have to do that every single time. Now.
Ding. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's the 7, by the way, if you need to.
The 7?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how Lowrider starts, too. So the 7.
Well, that's why.
Yeah. I'm going to teach you that.
Right
that's going to be my gift to you.
Oh, great.
I teach you how to learn that.
There could be some B-roll of us just trying to.
Yeah, that's a blooper video.
Yeah. We have the oddest instruments here. Ryan, thank you for coming down into the studio.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We already had a taste of some of your music back from when we did the live, so I'm excited to hear some more. But let's start off in the very beginning.
It's a very good place to start.
Yeah,
Let's go back to the beginning.
Let's go back. Why don't you let us know how did this musical journey start for you?
Wow. How far do we want to go back? I mean, I was born into a family of musicians, so it's not professional musicians, but sort of the campfire, back porch, basement kind.
Oh, I love those kind.
Yeah, and it was a lot of acoustic singer songwriter type of things. Some of my earliest memories are of my dad sitting on his bed playing a green acoustic guitar, and playing Cat Stevens songs and all of that. So
Cool.
I've been doing it. It started way back then. It was one of those things where it's almost like the book Acres of Diamonds. I don't know if you guys know that book, but the premise is essentially like someone goes out and they're looking for riches in the world, right?
Yep.
And then long story short, they eventually find out that the riches were already on their land that they already had.
Oh.
And so that's kind of a good way to talk about the musical journey for me. Is like I was kind of born into it. I was surrounded by all these people. I kind of created space from it for a long time. And then eventually realized like it's been kind of right under my nose the whole time.
That's awesome. That's great. Wow. Yeah, it's funny how that usually works out that way, huh? Yeah.
It's very strange and calling, like, I guess is how I describe it.
Awesome. So it sounds like you've been playing for quite a long time then. Did you start off with the guitar?
No, I started by playing bass. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yep. So, as I mentioned, like I was born into a family of musicians, but I was the youngest one around.
Okay.
Most people played guitar.
Yeah.
And then one day a bass was presented to me.
Right.
Of like, we need a bass player. we have all these guitarists,
Yeah.
So I was handed a bass, and I really got into it for a long time, and I still love playing bass. And I love like Victor Wooten and Flea from the Chili Peppers.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Yes.
I would do all that sort of stuff. And so I started playing bass I played bass for a long time, probably longer than I've played guitar easily. So yeah, I only really dug into guitar. Not that I'm technically terribly good at it, but I only dug into it maybe like 8 years ago, where I started to really get into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I've heard from a number of musicians that are now like phenomenal guitar players. Like they started off with the bass.
Yeah, it's not an unheard of thing.
Yeah.
There's an interesting, I've noticed an interesting like transmission of bass playing to guitar, for me at least, where it's like some of the runs on guitar are sort of rooted in like, the runs that you would do on a bass.
Right.
And
Not only that,
adds
it's
some
like,
color.
if you think about it, just even mentally, 4 strings are probably easier than 6. And then like you can get your finger picking down better that way too. And comes easier after that part.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great. Okay. Let's see. Where do I go from here?
I don't know. You tell me, Christopher.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's great. It's always interesting to find out how that musical journey starts, because it's not always the same for everybody. Certain people have had some really interesting. No, you're okay. We're getting some squeaks.
We talked about this.
We did talk about this.
Yeah. I know. So, okay, I'm going to sidetrack for a second. We got these beautiful chairs
With the rollerblade wheels.
With the rollerblade wheels that go 100 miles an hour.
They are comfortable.
Yeah, just don't sneeze, otherwise you'll like go through the wall.
Yeah, the extra PSI will get you.
Pew! But they're great because they don't really make noise.
Except for my chair.
Except for Nikki's chair, and Nikki's a nervous creature. Which is
I'm
fine.
a creature.
Creature feature. But yeah, so but it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, you know what? Speaking of which, Nikki, you want to ask the next question?
Well, speaking of my anxiety and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get into mental health.
right, yeah. Let's just turn this into a therapy session, shall we?
Bring it on.
So, do you have a dream venue that you would like to perform at anywhere in the world?
Yeah, there's 2 that come to mind.
Okay.
Ryman Auditorium is one in
Where's that?
Nashville.
Okay.
Yep, they refer to it as the Mother Church, and it's where the Grand Ole Opry is and all that. And it's just really historic, I went to a couple shows there now, and it does sort of feel like a very spiritual place.
Okay.
Just because of all the people that have come through there, and you sit on church pews
Really?
when you're in there. They don't have like modern seats or anything like that. They're wooden church pews, and so
Wow.
the whole vibe is very
Very
vintage and historic. And
That's really cool.
Yeah. then the other one is probably Red Rocks.
I was just about to say that. I guess
Yeah.
Red Rocks, right?
Yeah,
That's
Red
everyone's.
Rocks. It's just,
It's iconic.
yeah. I saw Dawes and the Avett Brothers there in July.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
that's cool.
Yeah, and that was my first time ever going there, and it's like another world.
Yeah.
It's not like any other venue. Like even getting to the venue,
You have to
like,
hike.
hiking up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're hiking up these like rocks and paths and things, and you get up there, and we sat in the very back row in the center.
And the
So-
natural acoustics were probably still phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the view is just like, it's not only the stage.
Yeah.
Beyond the stage, you can see Denver. You can see, mountains and things, and it's gorgeous.
That's so cool. There's like I saw. I don't know if it's real. I don't know. Welcome to 2025, where you don't know if anything's real. But I saw an image of a old decommissioned quarry turned into a performance stage.
Oh, I saw that. That was,
Yeah.
I think that was out in like Iceland or something like
Was it?
that. Yeah.
Do you know how many?
Or Norway, I think.
Do you know how many like decommissioned quarries we have around here?
Yeah.
I mean, look how close we are to the granite state.
Right?
Yeah, we're literally in
my
the
God.
granite capital of the world.
Yeah,
But I did see that. That's out in, I believe, Norway.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need one of those around here, guys.
I'm surprised Seth Newton didn't try to check that out while he was on his, European excursion around Iceland and Prague and all that.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this, those natural settings for venues just adds a whole level of character.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that live out there, but also just are constantly going out there for music and stuff. And the amount of friends that I have that have had to evacuate from Red Rocks because the weather,
Really?
you think it's that bad out in New England.
Yep.
The weather out there is insane. And they've had some really severe storms out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, out at Red Rocks.
Yep.
Well, over here, we have some pretty severe storms. Because the music is always...
Where were you going with this?
Yeah, I'm trying to... I was like, where does this segue go? Either way.
We've hit a lot of turbulence here and it's time to land the damn plane.
Oh, there's a segue. So why don't we go ahead and get into our first song, if you're are ready.
Yes, I come to play.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a song. It's called "Don't Know How." I think of it as like the equivalent of a doodle.
I was gonna ask.
When I think of it, it's something like I feel like I just like doodled it, one day, and
just a bunch of randomness came to mind, and you just doodle it all down. And
it's not like a beautifully structured song. There's like no, nice segues or things like that. But it's just like a train of thought kind of song. It's sort of fun to play.
I was going to ask you how you wrote it. And I was kind of hoping that you'd respond with, "I don't know how."
It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know how. All right. Well, I ain't been grown in my whole damn life. You've been 37 for 20-something years, and we've been whittled down by these wonderful fights. And if it weren't for me, we'd be a long way from here. I can stay and count the ways I made you give up the ghost. I need an abacus, some calculus, and a last kiss on your hand. And you could leave this town, and I could try to grow up. Maybe out there you finally find yourself a man. Got no fruit in the bowl, there's dishes in the sink. I'd hate for you to know, 'cause I know what you think. You're probably out there forgetting about me, and here I am again, playing back our memory. I can see you on the screen. Your hair looks real nice. I can tell you didn't choose it, 'cause you don't like highlights. And I've been on my own for a good while now. I never did grow up, guess I don't know how.
I like it.
For a doodle.
For a doodle, yes.
That is incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow.
It almost kind of reminds me of, if you were just to sit there with your guitar and you found a tune, whatever's playing, to mind right now, and you're just looking around, you're like, there's a man sitting over there, and there's a lady over here crying into her drink, and like, you know, just whatever is like coming to mind, you're just
Yeah.
coming out with. That's just kind of what that reminds me of.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens a lot of times, really. It's like, you know, I think for me, you know how like different brains operate differently. Like some people don't have an internal
Yeah.
monologue or whatever.
Yeah.
I get like vignettes.
Okay.
So I see like vignettes of things happening, scenes and things, and my brain starts to turn them into music.
Oh, that's cool.
Strangely enough.
Like little musicals in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like one of those. That's why it's kind of like a doodle, because it's not necessarily like autobiographical, but
Just random scenes
Yeah.
happening.
right.
I like it.
That's cool. The songwriting process is interesting to me. Just you know where it starts from and you know where it taps into, what emotions does it tap into. Has writing your music, did that start early on as well, or was that something that came later on?
No, that was much later on. Much later on. I mean, like within 5 years, I'd say.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of a slow build for me to get to the writing thing. I guess listening to music inspired me to make music. You know, the more I
Yeah.
listened to music, the more I was inspired to make it. You know, and there's been sort of a long series of musicians that, you know, I've been looking at over time. And I'm not someone who looks at like a wide breadth of musicians. Like
Mm.
I concentrate heavily on small numbers of them. It seems to be kind of serialized in my experience, where I'll study one deeply and then go to the next and go to the next. And that kind of reached a tipping point
Okay.
right around like Jason Isbell, Tyler Childers, that
Yeah.
timeline.
Mhm.
It's like I was like, okay, you know, I had so much inspiration and so many ideas just popping up left and right and all that I decided to go with it. But there's also an element of I think one reason it took so long as well is there's also an element with me where it comes to like I want to share wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna write something and say something, then you know I want to try and say something that's useful to people.
Oh
right?
yeah.
But
Love
at the
it.
same time, it's hard to be wise when you're young,
Right.
you know? And
Mhm.
so I think there's an element of me being like, well, you know, I might say something to people that is not useful because, you know, I'm not wise yet, you know?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Well, you know, you'd be surprised. We, you know, throughout our journeys, you know, sometimes we look back at some of the things that we've said or done at a younger age. We're like, you know what, we were pretty wise back in our day. You know, me on the other hand, I was a wise guy.
Wise ass. Yeah.
It's
Wise
better.
guy, see?
But you know, also when you're
Swinging
young, you
wrenches.
have a lot of teachable moments, which in turn
Yeah.
turns into
Yeah.
wisdom as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And, you know, I also kind of want to circle back on that whole songwriter process also because, you know, me meeting you for the first time was at the Otter River Pub at the songwriter contest where I judged a round that you got advanced onto. And I remember you telling a story of the song that you were singing, basically how the song came to life. And you said it was a book of prompts. And the prompt was the most random prompt. Pick a random inanimate object in front of you and write about it. And I don't know if you care to elaborate more on that song, but you started off with a basic, simple item. And by the end of the song, it was just a whole different direction that I would have never thought. You just got so creative with it. But if you want to just elaborate more on that, because I'd love, you know, to hear that song at some point. That's what advanced you on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the song I called The Measure. But yeah, the way it came to fruition was just, that process felt like it wasn't entirely me doing it, you know, like,
Well, because you were prompted.
yeah, but the way the way it came together,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like that wasn't all me. Like there's a saying in like creativity, I guess, if you want to just blanket use the term. You got to leave space for the universe,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And I think that was one of those situations where like, I started, as you said, with a book. I had writer's block. I was sitting in my kitchen and I was just like, what am I going to write about today? And I cracked open this book I have, and it just said, do an object write, like you said. And so I picked up my head and I looked out amongst the things in my kitchen, and a tape measure was there. And, a tape measure is like not a terribly inspiring item to write about. But I think within the context of my life, it sort of is, because my dad had a flooring company, and like, um, it was weird how it melded all together, right? Like
Sure.
the tape measure made me think of my dad, which made me think of my mom, which made me think of them kind of building a life together.
Mhm.
When I was 12, they built a new house and it was on land. And that song, the lyrics are about sort of like a
Yeah.
couple building a house together and building a life together.
But you would
That's all.
never like normally thinking of a tape measure. You would never think of, oh, yeah, it's just a tape measure to this whole story that you built, which I thought was just so incredible. And like, I loved it. That's why I was like, the song needs to advance on. Just, it was so
Thanks.
deep by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the vignette thing I'm talking about.
Yes,
Where it's
yeah.
like, it's an abstraction of the thing I'm looking at, I guess.
And you ended up getting what, second place in that
I ended up in
contest?
third.
Third?
But
I thought it was
yeah,
second.
third.
Oh, third. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you still placed.
No. I'm very, very grateful and happy. And
Yes.
like, there's a bunch of other great songwriters
Yeah.
there too. And so
Let me
very,
tell
very
you,
flattered.
that contest, it was my second year judging it, and it's so stressful.
It is stressful.
Yeah, I can't imagine being a judge in a song contest like that.
Yeah. Because just the talent is just so incredible, and there's a lot of pressure riding on it, because but yeah, your song stuck out for me definitely, and I'm glad that you went to the very end with it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a very nice, flattering experience,
And that was what, you just getting out there and dipping your toes back, into this whole area too, as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest toe dip I had done to date, really, because up until then I'd basically just been doing open mics, 2-3 songs at a time.
Yeah,
that's that. But Amanda Cody, I don't know if you guys know Amanda Cody in the area, but she's been kicking me in the ass my whole music career. Basically, like, go here, play here, do this thing. And one day out of the blue, she's like, you should do this, join this, go do it.
Was
now.
she? I think I met her that night when I was introducing myself to you after. And
I think she was there.
Yeah.
She was there one of the nights. It may have been.
Yeah, because I mentioned the podcast and she was like, yep, he'll go on and do that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He needs the exposure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the those songwriter contests are phenomenal. Like, and I'm glad to see more and more of them are popping up.
Yep.
Because you go out to a lot of the open mics and you see a lot of covers, but you really get to experience how creative our musicians are in this area. On those contests. Yeah,
I love to see them, and like you're saying, like it's cool to see. Or things like songwriters rounds, Off the Rails has one.
That's an awesome venue.
Yeah, and it's like, it's a great thing, as a songwriter. It's something that, like, I've been to Nashville a bunch of times, and they obviously have the infrastructure built around songwriters down there.
Right.
There's songwriters rounds, there's all the things and all the venues and all the places. And, I would love for more of that to be in this area.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. We've seen a few more and more of them popping up around the Leominster area. The obviously the one at the Otter River Pub.
Yeah, I feel like Franco really kind of kicked that off for the area, because between Franco and Matt Black getting the Otter River Pub one started, and then I think there was one at like a brewery that a bunch of friends of the show were on. not that long ago also that I saw pop up, and then the one at Off the Rails, and you're starting to see them more kind of pop up around, which is awesome. I feel like, the open mics are cool and all, but this kind of just ups the ante of really getting people's, their songs out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And as a songwriter, I mean, excuse me, the open mics are nice and everything, but there's sort of an expectation at songwriters rounds, right? Where like the crowd is expected to listen, right?
Yeah.
And like as a performer and a songwriter, that's really important. Like that difference is really important as
Right.
compared to like being in a bar. It's
Right.
an open mic and it's loud and no one's really giving feedback or anything like that.
Exactly. It
So-
becomes more just background noise of, oh, so-and-so is doing a cover at this open mic and I'm half listening to it
Right.
because I already know the song and,
Yeah.
doing whatever. But like you said, now you're there for all focus and attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So has there been any challenges that you have faced with writing music in general?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, well, I think in my case, sort of outwardly, I'm generally like a stoic kind of person. Like
Yeah.
I'm not very animated and all that. But I guess I'm sort of like a still waters run deep kind of human.
Okay.
And the struggles I've had, like performing live is certainly something that I had to break down into unbelievably small baby steps
Right.
to even get myself up there to do it. I it's funny, like I literally, to start, I picked a place I was going to go play, which was Slater's in Bolton.
Okay.
So Mike Kelly hosts an open mic there. And so I started just going there for dinner during the open mic, right? Just to
Yeah.
be in the environment. And then like my next iteration was like, all right, could I handle bringing the guitar into the restaurant?
Yeah.
And the answer for myself to that was no. And so I backed it up a little more. And I was like, could I handle putting my guitar in my car
Yeah.
and driving it to the restaurant? And I was like, I can handle that.
Yeah.
So the next time I went, I put it in my car and drove to the restaurant. I didn't take it out of the car.
Yeah.
And when I had dinner and the thing, and I eventually got to a point of performing. So like getting up there and just singing in front of people is terrifying.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
And
is.
so
It really
Yeah.
is.
that's been hard. The other element that I seem to bump up against is like my desire to write things that are really honest and vulnerable and like things that, like writing the words that someone needs to hear
Right.
while also like having to triage the like emotional journey of getting there.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there are moments where like I have to stop writing, I have to stop playing, I have to walk away from it, I have to do all that sort of thing. And I don't know if that's a struggle really, but or if it's more of just part of the process, but it certainly slows things down. I
Yeah.
guess so.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it a struggle.
And it's like anything else, though, that, all right, this is frustrating me. Okay, like I'm getting too consumed. I need to take a break. I need to walk away. I need to, refresh. I'll come back to it with a clearer head. Like,
Yeah.
it's like anything else.
Yeah.
But it's great that you go there and try to make that meaningful connection, because then when you're out there performing and then you see that one person that's really connecting to the song,
Yeah.
like that really imagine would help ease some of those nerves.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why I gravitate towards the series of influences that I've had as a young songwriter. Is like there are people who have done that. There are people who have like not pulled any punches with what they're trying to say and
Yeah.
the sentiment they're trying to get across and the thing that they want you to hear, And so that's like, like you said, Neil Young and Bob Dylan and Ray LaMontagne definitely in there. Jason Isbell, those guys, they're not pulling punches.
Right.
So.
Did you actually see there is a documentary out on Bob Dylan? It's in theaters right now. Came out on Christmas
Oh
Day.
yeah, I know. It's on my
You
on my
don't
list.
say.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
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 It's definitely
He's on fire.
He is. He's like in
He's on
every
fire
movie.
right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about we go into another song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't I play the one that we were just chatting about?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yep. Move my capo, please.
Yeah.
Humor me.
Why did the capo go into the bar? No, I don't know.
Capo and a pick walk into a bar.
That just made me think of a dad joke.
Did it become apparent?
No, the dad joke is why don't seagulls fly over the bays?
Oh, because then there'd be bagels.
Oh, you know it. Oh, come on. It's so good.
It's so good. I'm not even a dad.
Dad jokes are accessible to everybody.
Yes.
All right. This is a song called The Measure. Well, honey, I think I found a nice piece of land. Let's go and check it out. See it all firsthand. I wanna know how wide the porch is gonna be. I wanna know right where you're gonna rock with me. So take the tape and lay it down nice and straight on the ground. We'll mark it out and see how far we can take this love of ours. You want marigold, and I just want the green. We're gonna have to choose in 30 some odd weeks. And when the baby comes, it's gonna need a crib. And right there by his side is where I wanna sit. So take the tape and lay it down nice and straight on the ground. We'll mark it out and see how far we can take this love of ours. And I know the kids will move away. Oh, but you could take my measure every day. So take the tape and lay it down nice and straight on the ground. We'll mark it out and see how far we can take this love of ours.
Woo. That was beautiful. I love that song so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely adore the lyrics. It really conveys a lot of the emotion and connections that you're trying to make.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And who would have thought that it all stemmed from right about a tape
A
measure?
little
I
tape
know.
measure. So there's a little measuring tape.
Love that.
Yeah, I can picture the music video at the end of the video, that tape measure is fully extended out. Each inch is representative of a year.
Yeah.
Or even like, oh God, now I just want to make a music video for you because like
Yeah.
I'm picturing like a porch with some rocking chairs, but then also like, you mentioned a baby and even just inches, like a growth chart on a doorway.
I have
Yeah.
yet to think about that.
Yeah.
That song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like that.
And we'll be right back after these brief messages.
In 2025, be on the lookout for Derek D. Acoustic's upcoming album, Ashes to Acoustics, The Sonic Revival. Throughout the year, Derek will be releasing several singles, leading up to the full album release, which will include a few extra tunes just for you. Ashes to Acoustics features live acoustic covers performed at open mics at the Otter River Pub, recorded by Soundbites events and open mics. You'll find them on all streaming platforms, so make sure you follow Derek at Derek D Acoustic to stay updated on these releases. Enjoy Ashes to Acoustics, the Sonic Revival in 2025 and beyond.
And now back to our show. So, what advice would you give to aspiring musicians?
Man, there's a few things, I guess. I would say there's this concept of cringe mountain,
Okay.
and I've really embraced it where, throughout the creative process and the sharing process, like there's going to be moments that you just full body wince at yourself and what you're doing and what you're sharing. And I think it's really important to embrace that and just accept it and just be okay with it, or figure out a way to be okay with it. Because if you don't, like, it'll stop you in your tracks. At least in my experience, like the self-awareness or self-criticism or whatever you want to call it will just shut down all productivity in the creative department. So
You're your own worst critic, your
Yeah.
own worst enemy.
right.
Yeah.
And so embracing, like, things will always be cringy until they're not, as you're going along and doing the thing. And I guess something that goes hand in hand with that, something that really has helped me, is I look for really early work of the people I look up to.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sure.
it's
They
really
were never once as good as.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I'll hunt down old videos and things that are just buried on the internet or whatever of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Because it's helpful to see that they're human,
Sure.
Yeah.
versus the finished product that they are, that everyone sees now.
Sure. I mean, even look at what we talk about all the time. You take our first episode that we recorded a year ago,
Yeah.
Jukebox Jakes,
Right.
compared to what we have now, and it's like that's cringy as fuck.
Right.
Why?
And it's interesting that you bring up that, because not many people think about the journey.
Yeah.
Right.
They go straight to, okay, I'm going to pick up this guitar, and by next week, I'm going to be, Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Something I've noticed about songwriting as well is, like, songwriting is not an industrial process. You're not dealing with something that is, you do this and then that and then that and that and that and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's very nebulous. It's very, like, sometimes it has a mind of its own. Sometimes it'll just stop you in your tracks and say, nope, now's not the time, or that idea or that sentiment is not ready yet. And that's been one of the things, like, I've had to adjust to songwriting and just be okay with that. That's why I have like 500 songs going, because like they don't always get done sequentially. And I
Right.
think, like, that's okay. Like, for a while I would be like, why can't I just sit down and finish this whole song? And, from what I can tell so far, not a lot of songwriters do that.
Yeah.
A lot of songwriters are more like, they're relying on a sort of an intuitive process of when is it time to work on the song, versus like, I'm going to finish this song right now.
Right. Like
Right.
something in the universe happens and it was like, okay, this moment was meant to happen because that's going to fit perfectly with what I have going on. Let me pick that back up again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what are your goals and dreams for the future?
Hmm.
That's another loaded question.
That is another loaded. I'm just
Loading them up.
That's right.
I really just want to play live more at this point. So I've kind of turned the corner from the open mics into gigging and all of that. And I want to get those chops down of playing longer,
Yeah.
2 or 3 hours at a time in different places. And I just want to go wherever people want me, wherever people want to listen. That's kind of the goal at the moment. And then the other goal is to get some things recorded, because unfailingly, every time I go and play open mics or whatever it is, people come up to me afterwards and they're, where can I listen? Where can I on
Yeah.
Spotify and all
Right.
those things? And so I got to get that done. I got to figure out some kind of setup or
Yeah.
something along those lines. So those are kind of the two things in the short term at the moment.
Yeah, because I could totally see you dropping an EP, or even an album, and sure, stream it. But I think you could actually have people buying them, and
That'd be wonderful.
right, and yeah, because your music really lends itself to just a calming, a deeper meaning, connection, and I can totally see like driving cross country
Yeah.
to like
Who
to, like,
said that at this? Morgan. Did she say that at one of the songwriting
She-
competitions?
She did. Yeah.
said-
I
she
can
said
just
I can-
picture like throwing this on like I'm on a long road trip and just
Yeah.
driving
Throwing
through the
on-
mountains
yeah.
or something.
yeah.
Yeah. That was a nice call.
That or what else came to mind is like because your music does have that very like country Americana sound to
Mhm.
it. Like that I could totally picture like on Yellowstone, that music in the
Oh,
background
yeah.
or like
Hmm.
yeah.
I'll take the sync for that. That'd be great.
Hey, manifestation, I believe in that.
Seriously.
Yeah. So I guess I'm looking at all of these new questions, Christopher, and I really like them. Because I know we had mentioned too just how supportive this whole community, this whole
Mhm.
area has been. What do you enjoy most about the local music scene here in the area in Massachusetts?
The support is certainly the support caught me off guard, if I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest.
It's almost overwhelming.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it was just going to be like snap of a finger.
Open arms, welcoming. And,
Yeah, like join this group, do this thing, go here.
Yeah.
Here's an open mic, come over here. Like,
Yeah.
all these opportunities just immediately
Yeah.
out of the blue. Like that's been the thing that I've liked the most and appreciated the most, because being someone who's new to gigging and
Mhm.
chatting with venues and all that stuff, like
Nobody
that would have taken me a long time to sort out.
Yeah, and not only that, but like nobody looks at anybody else like competition.
That's the other thing. I was just gonna say, like, for, it's intimidating to perform live in front of people, especially original songs, right? And so, if you're not amongst the right people who are supportive of that, it can really suck.
Mhm.
If people are critical or whatever it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
it can
heard
be-
of like some areas in Mass, like out in like way Western Mass, like Northampton,
Mm.
that can get real clicky.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of like who you know, what your sound is, all that. If
Yeah.
they don't know who you are, they're kind of like
Gatekeeping stuff.
gatekeeping stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you come out to like, this more central Worcester County area, and everyone's just like open arms,
Yeah.
come on in. Like there's a spot for you, and there's no competition or gatekeeping. We're just all here for the same reason, to help one another. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, in my humble opinion, what songwriters are doing and what we're doing is about the listener and the song.
Mhm.
And so, like, I don't think people should be getting in the way of those two things.
No.
Um,
Think about it, at the end of the day, if it's not for the listener and the people, the song, like what's it really for?
Right.
I mean, I can sit here and play music to myself, but it serves a bigger purpose.
yeah, the songs are not for the songwriter. They're not for the artist or the performer or whoever.
Right.
They're for the
Whoever needs to hear it.
yeah, exactly. Who needs to hear it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's so much deeper than that for sure. And I mean, there's so many times, and I hear so many stories, especially on this podcast, where, I'll ask the question, can you name a time where you've made a significant impact on someone's life through your music? Which, hey, that's going to be my next question for you. But a huge answer that I hear all the time is, I just played this random song. It wasn't even on my set list, but I felt in my heart it needed to be, sung. And somebody came up to me afterwards and was like, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that message, So I think that's huge. And that's where you said it's not for me at this point. It's for whoever needed to hear it and they were there at the time.
Yeah. And I to answer your question, I think like my answer would be similar to that. Like the times where I feel like I can't think of like a one big event where I really influenced somebody with what I've written, but there's been lots of little events of like someone requesting a song of mine. Right. Because they want to hear it and they need to hear
like
it or
I
whatever. Yeah, like that's really, really meaningful to me. Because like, it's work to write original things.
So to be recognized for your hard work.
Well, it's not even necessarily about the recognition, in my opinion. It's about like, oh, this person has derived lots of value in what I created.
Right.
And like that is very meaningful to me.
Sure.
And so when people say like, could you play the tape measure song or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, it goes back to like, it's about the listener. It's about the song.
Right.
Those things go together in my mind.
It's that connection that you feel like you've just now made through your lyrics to that person.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what are oh no, I missed it.
I know there's a lot of stuff here.
I'm gonna have to like dwindle some of these. Just like
trim it down.
Put some spaces in between them or something.
Ooh, formatting.
Yeah. Boy.
This format.
Like, okay, that's fine. Some of these are kind of repeated over the other ones.
Yeah, I just noticed that myself. Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing.
Well, can I ask another question then while you're trying to gather your thoughts?
Well,
I'll go for it.
How will that segue? And I was just thinking of. Okay, so I know that your journey with performing out live is fairly fresh. But do you happen to have an experience so far that stuck out from all the other ones?
Excuse me. I'd say like I don't have like a this big exciting experience that's happened yet.
Okay.
But I think the most notable thing that I've experienced while playing is when the room goes silent.
Oh yeah.
That really caught me off guard the first time that ever happened to me.
Right.
Because I mean,
because you were connecting at that point.
well, it when you're just starting to play live and the room quiets, you're kind of up there. In my case, you have like an insecurity element, right? And then you couple that with, okay, now everyone is looking at you and listening intently to what you're doing.
Yeah.
That really threw me off the first time that happened. It's happened a few more times and I'm still not quite comfortable with it. But I would say that those are the most notable experiences so far, is like that moment of like hush.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because that's something that I've encountered as well. You have a lot of our venues around here that are pubs or bars, and there's obviously a lot of conversations that are going on, that are happening, a lot of socializing, and for a lot of the times the music is just background filler, but then when you I've witnessed this quite a few times where you'll have a musician or a few musicians that'll just jam or whatever. It'll be a special moment where they connect with that room,
You
Yeah.
get all the heads turning.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and it's really like awe-inspiring when that happens. Like
Yeah.
it's a cool moment.
That happened to me in Ashby, last September, I think. It was a open mic that Mike Kelly was running, and I got up there to play, and the room I was in was mostly empty,
Okay.
So I started playing, and I played a few songs, and like there's a bar adjacent to the room. And,
Were you at the tavern? Smith
maybe?
Hill Tavern?
Isn't there a number in the name?
Yeah, it's like the 873
Yeah,
Cafe,
yes.
Smith Hill
Yeah.
Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like,
I know what exactly you're talking about.
Yeah,
Beautiful
I-
bar, by
beautiful.
the way.
yeah, it's a great place, and the food is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll just plug it more and
Yeah,
more.
right.
I was playing, and people, when people were coming out of the bar, and like the wait staff would like pause in the doorway, and like, it's along the lines of like the crowd going silent. It's flattering, is what it boils down to. It's just
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm like
Getting noticed.
resonating with
Yeah.
people. That's nice.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, we are getting close to our end, but I want to hear another song. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. This is a song called Haven. The song derived from me looking for a song title.
oh,
And I was digging through Spotify, and I was like, I dug into some playlists that I never would go into. And there's a song in there called Haven. And I was like, all right, I'm going to roll with that. And then, a similar vignette situation happened. And this song is what came up. Take me in and clean me off. Rub my eyes till I fall asleep. Won't you be a haven to me? And I got walls built up so high. One more brick and I'll reach the sky. So won't you be a haven to me? And I need you more than you could ever need me. I'm not keeping score, but I can tell that I'm lucky. And it's not like me to be down and out, but I'm waking from a cruel, cruel dream. So won't you be a haven to me? And I'm not broke, I'm just shedding my skin, waiting for the time till I can try again. So take me in, clean me off, rub my eyes till I fall asleep. Won't you be a haven to me.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I actually, did you sing that at either an open mic or a songwriter contest? There was a video. I'm pretty sure it's on your Instagram because those lyrics. I
yeah,
remember those
yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah. That was one I played. So I have a post of me playing that at that cafe. in
Yes.
Nashville.
Oh, that was
That was
okay.
the first time I ever played it live.
Yeah, I remember watching that and listening to the lyrics, and I was just like, "Wow, that's absolutely beautiful." I think I made sure to tell you that too. But yeah, as soon as you started playing that song, I was like, "I know that song." So
See-
look, another
Good, I'm
one.
doing my job.
There's another one for you that I.
See, I think this is where you would just excel with collaborations. You know, tossing in some violin or fiddle, you know,
Ooh.
yeah, cello.
Yep.
You know, some
Pedal
other
steel.
yeah.
That's like another one of those songs right there that are just very calming songs where I could just picture like in a scene of Yellowstone or something like that.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
So have you you know, done any studio work? Like when you do record, are you going to be doing that yourself, producing it yourself, or are you going to seek out like a professional studio?
Yeah. I'll probably seek out. I'm scanning the area
No.
for places to record. So I just talked to somebody who has owned he's been in the music scene for like 40 years and he owns a studio in Connecticut.
Oh, nice.
And he just invited me to come down and kind of see what's going to happen.
Oh, that's cool.
We didn't do like a, we're going to come down and do a recording session. It was more like, let's have a hang.
Yeah.
And capture like some of the stuff that's going on. And so I may have some recordings from that.
And I think that's cool too. Just like he wants to get to know you to make sure that your vibe and his vibe kind of mesh first. And it's not like he's not just in it for the money of, yeah, I can throw something together for you. I want to make sure our visions align together.
Right.
And that's so important that he actually cares.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just gonna say the studio experience. You know, I took part of it in part recently with Route 2 Revolution, and it's cool. It's a really cool process. Like, especially if you are working with audio producer who really knows his stuff, and because it's definitely a collaboration. We can, you can even make awesome recommendations, add additional instruments. But I think, as a musician going through that, craft working of a song and recording it kind of really opens up other ideas for future songs. So it's all part of that music creating process that it expands. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what that produces.
Yeah, me too. Who knows what's going to come of it.
Yeah. That's really exciting.
Nice. Well, Ryan, I really appreciate you coming down here. This has been such an awesome, show for us, and Nikki, jeez,
another good get, huh?
Yeah, seriously. I'm like,
we're
just
peppered all through the woods. You just got to pull us out.
That's right.
I'm getting pretty good at doing that.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. I'm really just encouraged by all the things that you're doing, your lyrics, your music songwriting. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like this is literally just the beginning for I think what we're about to see.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, that was a big toe dip for you, that songwriter contest, and now you're starting to gig out and you're going to be putting out music, and like this is just the beginning, I think, for what's to come for you. And I'm excited to see it all unfold from the beginning and see where it grows to.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got my first podcast under my belt.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And then so I know you're just getting out there with your music, but you do have a website?
Yep. It's just ryancalkins.com.
Okay, perfect.
Straightforward.
Awesome. And then for our local audience, if they wanted to catch you out there, are there any places that you frequent?
Yeah, I mean, I frequent Slater's for their open mic, the Boulder in Fitchburg. I'll go there
Oh, nice.
fairly often. Off the Rails, I'm meaning to get back to soon. So yeah, but mainly I'm trying to play a lot of new places. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mix at the moment.
Well, yeah, I think not to plug shamelessly plug our services, but if you need somebody to come out and record a few performances,
Yeah.
you can start your own YouTube channel and
Yeah.
Get some of them posted.
Yep.
No, I'm
Yeah,
actually
okay.
I'm really excited to hear that you're going to be in my neck of the woods in Pepperell at the
Yeah.
Damn Grill. So yeah, I'll definitely come out and support and
Sweet.
get some content for you.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. I love that.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much. I appreciate you coming down. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you.
Yeah, likewise.
And and keep it up. Like keep
Couldn't
Keep
stop
on
if I
keeping
tried.
And with that, guys, I just wanted to say thank you to all our listeners out there for your support. We really appreciate you. And thanks to all our subscribers. We are looking at doing some new fun things. Possibly starting a Patreon. So we'll see where it goes. But if you could go ahead and subscribe to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. The more support we have, the more followers we have, the bigger the spotlight that we can put on our local musicians. And it's really important to us that we are here and are a support for our local music scene. So again, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe. And I think with that,
Yeah.
I think we're
Till the next one.
until the next one.
Bye.
Let us.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god! The thing I thought was gonna happen